Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just click the link in the show description to support now.
You're listening to the Confident Shift podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Charles Gustafson. I'm a strategic marketing consultant turned certified image consultant, certified professional life coach, best-selling author, and award-winning international success mentor. I'm the creator of Hue and Style and run a life-changing internet business and online community where I teach growth-focused entrepreneurs, professionals, and community builders how to transform their self-belief and personal brand presentation into a superpower. Each episode, I share lessons, stories, and personal musings from my life as an entrepreneur, mentor, wife, and mom, all aimed at helping you see yourself differently so you can live a life filled with more intention, joy, and success. I'm glad you're here. Let's jump in. I love these days on the podcast. Today, I get to introduce you to my client, Salimah, who went from one overwhelmed with life lady to laser-focused, worthy woman, able to stay focused on creating a life that represents her peace, joy, and happiness, despite the outside despair of a pandemic. We dive into her inspiring story of how she found clear confidence for her whole life, not just inside her closet, which helped prepare her to make whole life choices that serve her future. We'll hear from her about how she became a strong individual and an example that builds her family and communities, and how you can too, and why starting her day with crystal clear intention and putting that intention on her body in her dressing activated her ability to stand out, literally overnight. I can't wait for you to meet her. Welcome to a Confident Shift conversation. I'm so delighted to introduce you all to my client, to Salimah. And today she is going to share her image confidence journey with you all and about how she has come into her own self, seen herself differently through the mirror, and she's going to inspire you to see what's possible for you when you laser focus on your own confidence and find clarity, not just in your closet, but for your entire life. And so Salimah's going to share how she found clear, that's right, clear confidence with Hue and Style. So I'm so excited for you to be here, Salimah. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here too. I'm looking forward to it.
I know. I'm always excited to share these women with my communities because you guys are just beacons. So the first thing we want to know is, tell us who you are, where you are, what you do, and who you serve, my dear. Tell us.
Well, I'm many things. You know me, I love to stay busy. I am from Brooklyn, New York, and I live in New Jersey. Proud New Yorker. I have to put that in there all the time. You know that, Michelle.
I know you do.
I'm a New Yorker. Yes. I live in New Jersey, and I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, niece, granddaughter, all of those things. Mm-hmm. And business owner, 2 businesses. I work at the local library, as well as I volunteer in my community in different ways on a town board. And also, who do I serve? My real focus are children and families. That's really who I really feel passionate about helping, which is why I love being at the library. And I'm also a music teacher with the program Music Together. So that's the children part of it and the families together.
Yes. And I love when you can articulate who you serve based on what is true for you. Because a lot of times people don't really fully believe that your current mindset and how you're showing up in your life and how you're presenting yourself and down to how you dress yourself is related, right? So Salimah, I always like to start at the very beginning. What is it before Hue and Style? What were you feeling in your life that was not helping you show up for who you serve and what it is you want to offer them? What was stealing your confidence?
Well, I felt overwhelmed in so many different ways. I love information, which is why I realized I love the library. I remember getting my first library card on my with my name on it when I was 5. And so, with that being said, I'm searching everywhere and anywhere for
Mm.
just personal development. I've taken a lot of different classes. I've gone online for so many different websites, listened to a lot of different coaches, and this seminar, that seminar. So overwhelmed, as well as I was being overlooked in the various areas that I'm in. I forgot to mention, I'm also a real estate agent as well in my local area. So, especially in that field. So that was overwhelming and disappointing in many different ways, because
Mm.
I was better than, let's say, in some ways, not in all ways, than Agent A. However, the way I was presenting myself, not just clothes, just other things, how I thought about myself, that person many times got the deal or got the opportunity, whereas I was kind of like, oh, she's not ready, or whatever it was they were looking for.
Right. So what you're saying is that there was a piece of you that maybe didn't feel like you deserved the business, needed the business, they sure they can have the business.
Yes.
And that's the thing that made you feel invisible. And how is it affecting your business to know that you were standing in the background in the sea of all the other realtors that were there?
Well, it's very difficult, got my hand raised, jumping up and down, figuratively speaking, and sometimes almost physically. And
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, you. And it's just like, well, wait, I have more experience and I actually know the systems and models with the company that I belong with. I can,
Mhm.
and some of them cite them backwards and forwards in terms of, and just following things, dotting my I's and crossing my T's, because I'm very detailed and very thorough. So, and if I don't know something, I front tell them I'm going to do my research and I'll come back to you with an answer. So that was very frustrating. Just to be overlooked in that way.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, being over because we always talk about the idea of being owning your voice and then being able to be visible for the things that you do and for the people that you serve. So, if you're being overlooked,
Mhm.
how much of a voice do you have when it comes to finding a customer, advocating for yourself, saying I'm the better person to serve your needs? How is that affecting the business?
In so many different ways. Even when I do have a client, even just presenting that offer to, let's say, to another agent, or just even getting in the house, sometimes it's just it becomes even more difficult too, because it's that offer may be pushed aside, unfortunately, because
Yes.
it's like, okay, they're not gonna, do it. So
Yes.
yeah, and so many different on so many, as well as even volunteering, let's say for an open house or other opportunities within real estate. At times it may go to someone else who
Mm.
presents a different way. It may not be right or wrong, it's just different. And
Yes.
for those reasons, yeah, even the opportunities that may come up to even increase my business.
Yeah. Well, and in that overwhelm,
Mhm.
because these kind of businesses where you have, well, let's be clear, every business you have to be visible. Otherwise,
Yeah.
people don't know you exist. You have to have a point of view to share your point of view so someone knows that they want to choose you, right? So,
Yes.
in all of that overwhelm of trying to figure out how to put yourself out there, how to be visible, but that you like all the information and you're getting it from everywhere, he did all of the DIY add to the overwhelm on how to
Of
present yourself, how to bring your personal brand? Tell me about the overwhelm.
of course it did, because I'm like, well, does this apply to me? I'm a
Mhm.
plus size petite. So some of the outfits I'm seeing too, that's the proper outfit to wear to be noticed, didn't necessarily fit for my body. And or colors, because I know I was warm undertone. However, what does that actually mean? Like which red is right, or all these other things. So and then I went to the virtual Pinterest and I had different things up there too. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I do with this? So I knew certain colors did bring attention. However, with the intention of dressing for the particular goal, no. So all of that other information, and many of it went opposite or was conflicts of the other one. Like
Yes.
this stylist says this, or this professional says that, but that's not what they're saying. They're saying something opposite. Like, so
So it was the university of generic information.
yes, yes, in
Because
so many
what I'm
ways.
hearing you say is that while there's all of the answers on the internet, not all the answers apply to you.
No.
And so then enters Hue and Style, because you know that I'm all about the customization. Is like, I don't want you to guess. I don't want you to wonder. I want you to know, right? Because when you know there's certainty, and when there's certainty in one area of your life, there becomes certainty in others, including from how you dress to how you do your business. So what first caught your attention about Hue and Style? Why was it different?
Well, I remember before becoming one of your clients, I loved just the 3-day challenges you did. I don't know how many of those I did in the 2 years I was following, stalking you. No, trolling. What do you call
swirling?
Swirling. That's the term.
Swirling.
So, I think it was about 2 years or more. And I would do these different challenges. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a lot of information. And then the fourth day, I went on to something else. Nonetheless, I did learn a lot in that little snack. That's what I'll compare it to, when what I really needed was a meal.
Girl, I feel like that's the analogy of the evening.
Yes.
Because snacks are good for a moment.
Yes.
But what if you learned how to cook the meal?
Oh, then I will not only, what's that other one? Fish for a day versus fishing for a lifetime. I'll be able then to whatever circumstance or situation comes up, I will be able to focus on what I need in order to get what I want to accomplish. It won't be kind of guesswork, like closing my eyes and be like, okay, let me do this. No, I know the intention, and it's like, okay, and not all opportunities are for me either. So that's also something I've learned along the way as well. And then I'll be able to discern, is this really for me? Is it not? Okay, if it's not, or if let's say I'm not accepted, move on to the next one. And that's okay.
And I think you hit something really important about that connection between mindset and image, in that what I teach is the idea of discernment, right?
Yes.
To know what is exactly right for you. Yes. And I know that when you're out there in the world trying to pick all the generic things, you don't know what's right for you, because you don't have the reference point of you, right? No. And so why do you think that mentorship was really the thing that made you be able to see yourself first, to discern what is right for you, instead of trying to figure it out on your own?
Well, in many ways, because it helped me to be focused. Because like I said, I love information, and I try to do 10 things. Well, actually, I've gone down to 5. But at one point, tried to do 10 things at once. And I know multitasking is not necessarily always the most the best way to do things, or the most efficient way. That's the word I was looking for. And so the process that you use, like with the so what factor, and I'm like, oh, that is me. As I was reading it to people, I'm like, look, this is me. This is who I am. Oh my goodness. So that helped to refine and help me to focus. And it's a process, because it's also with that, it's not something overnight, like I'm going to get everything, right away for every situation. However, and I have it right in front of me in the little frame that I had shown you. I keep it on my desk. And that just helps me mentorship has helped me to refine and be focused. Mm-hmm. And as challenges and obstacles have come my way, many different ones, especially after the first set of the program that I went through with you, I decided to continue with you. And I'm so glad I did, because it was this one obstacle, not one, but that really knocked the wind out of me. And with that being said, this has helped me to stay afloat, and also realize it's not always the speedy one, or this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Because sometimes I want things, the New York minute, right. Let's get it done.
Right.
And this is not that type of process. I just, because I'm like, oh no, I'm falling behind. Oh no, I didn't do it right. And you're like, as long as you're moving forward. Yes. And some things had to shift in terms of what I chose to do versus something else. And you've helped me to see that's okay. You're moving forward, right? Mm-hmm. Then it's okay. And I'm like, oh,
right.
Okay. So this has helped me with the various waves of challenges that have come up, that in many ways, like I said, it knocked me out in some ways. With that being said, this going back through has helped me to refocus and put on that oxygen mask and say, you know what, it's okay. And so I'm so grateful I was in this program.
Yeah. And I think you hit on a couple of different things. The first is the ability to choose yourself first. Because when you joined my mentorship, you had to make a decision to say Salimah first, oxygen mask on, right?
Yes, I did.
For my business, because if I'm gonna have people see me, and I'm gonna grow my business, I'm gonna grow my family relationships. They have to see me first. How quickly did you see choosing yourself first as the right decision?
Actually, almost immediately. It was like once, because just to be honest, not at one point in the beginning, I'm like, am I worth it? Am I worth it to really put myself first? Because many times I put myself last. You know, it's my husband, it's my son, or someone else that needs help. I'll drop, what's the term? Just real quick. If someone needs something, I'll get in my car, jump over there, do whatever needs to be done. If I have the energy and strength within me,
Yes.
then it's like, okay, let's go. You need help. And that's not always healthy. Actually, it's not healthy at all, especially if you're on E. Like many times I'm on E in terms of the gas tank. And also learning to say no. This has helped me with that, which I hate to do.
It is one of the best words we like.
Or you also taught us what did you say? One of the sessions you had said, okay, let me think about that and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Uh-huh. Let me check and see if that works for me.
Yes, that's it. Yes. Yeah. So that has helped me in that way, just to put myself first. And yes, I am worth it. I'm still working on the worth it part. I'm just, there's a lot of just other things too that may just not beat me up, but just even my own self. It's just like, okay, wait, no, it's like, wait, you are worth it to put on your oxygen mask. And now at times I have to move even a little slower just to make sure I'm okay. I've been journaling even more, and that's been grounding me and helping me to see who I really am and what my thoughts are too. So,
well, and I think what is really important that you touched on is the fact that it is a journey to the worth it part, but there has to be that spark of belief, right? And in Hue and Style, for those who are listening that aren't familiar with how we mash together mindset and image, every day that we get dressed, we apply that we are worth it based on what Salimah talked about, which is her purpose statement. And that every color and every item we put on is a representation of that. How quickly did you see that putting on that representation changed how the world saw you?
Immediately. I was getting compliments that I was not ready for. And also, I love the color psychology.
Yeah, you are a master at you. I'll tell you, I teach 3 levels of color psychology, not the like Pinteresty, like red is passion. No, we mean 3-4 levels deep. Messaging for the audience, messaging for yourself, messaging for your values and persuasion. And I will tell you, Salimah is like probably valedictorian of all of my mentees for how you use it. I am so impressed. This woman will pick the message. Now tell the people the joy that you get and the power you get by picking that message.
Oh yeah, most definitely. At times, with teaching a class virtually with the music class on a Monday, I'm tired, and so at times, or it's a new lesson plan, and with my first class, I'm like, oh wait, so I choose to put on yellow or something in the golden field because that helps me to be okay. Let's get it done, or on orange, because for me, that means that energy, that brightness, that clarity, it helps me to show up in that way. At times, like today, green. I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling this way, or I want to feel this way. Right now, I've been drawn to teal. I've really been drawn to teal. So, in fact, the other day I found a dress in teal and a jacket. I was like, yes. My glasses.
And what is amazing, I think what I love about how you have embraced your personalized palette, because if you're not familiar with Hue and Style, each Hue and Style woman gets a personalized palette from a set of 12. Okay. So You have your personal green, your personal teal, and every color in that palette of 36 goes with every single color. And this is what I mean about Salimah. Salimah will put the combinations together that she needs for that day.
Yes.
And tell me how your real estate people responded when they started to see you in the persuasion of those colors.
Well, with this virtual world that we've been in for, I can't believe it, the past year plus.
Crazy.
At times on the Zoom calls, I was being overlooked. And it's like, oh, wait, hi, Salimah. Or at times I would give a suggestion and it was like, oh, yeah, that was a good point, Salimah. Different ones in leadership. And I was like, okay, but I kind of said that before. So, and it's not like a grand like thing. It's just, it's very interesting just to have that opportunity.
Well, and I mean, Hue and Style existed before everybody got on Zoom calls. Okay.
Yes.
But let's be clear about these times. In these times, people are afraid to go on video conference, to see themselves through the back, to be sitting in rooms of 20, 30, 50 people, and how to be heard. How do you think the ability to use silent messaging in your personal brand helped you be visible in those groups for your business, for your community groups that you're in?
Yeah, some opportunities were just coming that I did not anticipate. And actually, it was overwhelming. I'm going to use overwhelm in a different way because I'm like, wait, who, me? Me? I don't think I'm ready. In fact, even the opportunity to teach virtually with the music program, I was telling myself, how can I do this? I don't know if I can. And then I said, Salimah, wait a second. You're trained for this. You've been doing this for at least 5 years. Just bring it. Everyone's learning. So you're going to learn too. You know how to do it. As well as just community wise, I was able to be a part of the planning board for my town as a result of showing up.
I know. Those came within weeks of you starting. Yeah. And I remember when you came on the call, you were like, I'm getting opportunities. And then I was like, all my girls will understand, but I'm like, you see this not surprise face?
Yes. And I'm just like, but am I ready? I don't. And one of the things you told me, which when some other opportunities came up, you said, Salimah, go to whether it's an interview, meeting, whatever it is, to see if you want to do this, or if not only if they want you, to see if you want this too, and if it aligns with your purpose. And then you choose after that, not before. And so that's what helped me to do that. Because I'm like other things coming up and it's just like, oh, wait, let me put on the brakes because am I ready for this?
Well, and the thing is for many who would be getting those opportunities, but hadn't done the confidence work to understand what is alignment for me.
Yes.
All of the opportunities would come and immediately people go to deserve level. I don't deserve it and push it all away. Afraid of it, right? Instead, you were able to compare it against why am I showing up? What are my gifts and talents? What is true for me? And then choose accordingly. And when you make a choice that way, how did it enhance your life, making that choice in a different way?
I did not feel as overwhelmed. I did not feel as stressed or as frantic. I was able to digest it and really see after the conversation. I already knew what my purpose or so what factor. I already know I have it, like I said, in front of me on my mirror, on my nightstand, and my car, and So, and then I had that going in. And in fact, I even put that in some of the letters or emails in terms of, when something, just what my core is. And it's not, what word am I looking for? Like too much of what elaboration. I'm trying to think of the right word. Nonetheless, this is who I really am.
Yes.
So with that being said, and then after the meeting or whatever it is, then I sit back with my notes matching that. Does this match? If it does, awesome. If it doesn't, cool. And move on to the next thing. So the frantic or the anxiety lessened once I was like, Salimah, okay, or let's say this doesn't quite align with it, or the person, maybe the mission or their company is okay. However, maybe the person I will be working closely with doesn't quite match that. So it may not be quite a fit for me at this particular time at that level.
Yes.
So, and I've also done that as well. It's like, oh, okay, no, thank you.
Yes. Well, and I don't know all the places I've said this, but certainty is the thing that gives you trust in yourself, but also helps people trust you. And when it comes to building a personal brand, showing up for it, being visible for what it is you do, stepping into those opportunities, people see the certainty, but they can't see it if you actually don't own it. It's interesting because I was somewhere and someone was like, can people sniff insecurity? 100%. 100%. And so if you were thinking about, your life before Hue and Style, after Hue and Style, what were some of your biggest wins now that you have this image confidence as a superpower? What has been the biggest thing for you?
Biggest win. Um, wow, there's a lot actually. I'm actually in my mind trying to like, because so many ideas are coming to mind. Um, Being able to, when I do feel frantic, because that still happens, or anxious about something, journaling to ground myself, listening to myself, and understanding where that's coming from.
Yeah.
You had recently on one of the sessions with the feelings wheel,
Mm,
and doing that, it was like, oh, wait, anger. Well, why am I feeling angry? Or, I did the other things. Oh, this is why. Okay, well, what are you going to do in order do you want to stay there? Or what can you do to get out of it
yes.
or deal with it? What are you going to do? Just don't stay stagnant. So
Yes.
that's one of the other things, as well as the belief table.
Mm,
Little of these lessons caused a lot of and they're not over, that
no.
soul searching and understanding. Oh, this is why I see the world this way. Okay, this is why I'm having difficulty, let's say, with this. Okay, however, you can work on that. It's not
Yes.
going to be easy, depending on how deeply ingrained it is. Nonetheless, I feel I can do it and truly believe it, actually.
Well, and there's no better jumping off point, right? Is to understand that you put yourself first, that you deserve to figure it out and feel your best, and
Yes.
then know that you have the tools to do it. Because Salimah's talking about some of the lessons that we do in our advanced mentorship after Hue and Style, where we get you to see yourself. Who am I? Where am I going? What does the world need to see from me? And what do I want to share? Then I always share with my clients that it is about keeping that mindset that allows you to stay showing up. And we do that in our Confidence Coalition, which is our advanced mentorship. It's where all the deep work goes. And that, I would say, look, that doesn't ever stop, because these times that we're in are actually a perfect example of the ability and the need for resilience. And resilience comes from your ability to be confident, right? And
Yes.
it's funny because every time I ask my ladies, my people, to come and share and to come and let women know that they're not by themselves in their feelings, how they're feeling, whether they're feeling like, well, especially right now, everybody's like, well, I think I just posted something. It's like, what's the point in dressing up, Michelle? Nobody's going anywhere. Why are you laughing, Salimah? Because
Because I mean, there is a point, because even just how you're showing up in your house, that's going to affect other things that you do. And it's not always going to be easy. I mean, this life is not easy. And one of the things, too, one big win that I remembered, that will, to me, put everything in a little bow, putting on my oxygen mask first. That's my win, actually. And it's not always easy. Like I said, I love to stay busy. I like to go. So
and you
COVID
like to
has.
give, you like to
Yes,
give.
I do. Yes, I do.
It's not just
Yes, yes,
going,
yes,
it's the
yes, yes,
giving.
yes. Yes, I do. I do. I love to see other people happy. I want them to see the potential in themselves, the why.
Mhm.
And I want them to go through that process, and I want to help guide them through that. Not me telling them, well, this is what you really need to do. No.
Yes.
So, and I realize that in all the different jobs that I do have, that's the core
Yeah.
in terms of helping them to explore and express. I'm looking at my And that's when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, so putting on that oxygen mask first is a big win. And slowing down, COVID has caused me to do that. And some other obstacles have caused me to slow down. And that I could still move forward. And it doesn't have to be at 60 miles an hour. Maybe 10 miles an hour is the way I need to go.
And honestly, I think these times are telling us, begging us to slow down. I think the ones who take these moments to slow down and put on their oxygen masks are going to be not, like you said, the fastest to the end of the race, but the happiest when they reach their finish line.
Yes.
That's what we're doing here. We're creating happy lives, right? With all the things that we see that we're creating that are intentional and purposeful. And, for those who are listening in, I always ask my ladies to describe their Hue and Style journey in one word. And then I use it for the title of this Confident Shift conversation. And you chose the word clear, Salimah.
Yeah.
It's a journey to clear confidence. Tell us why you chose clear.
Oh, there's a lot of things there's a lot of noise out there on so many different levels and from so many different sources, and which can cloud. And I wear glasses. So many times I have to clean the lenses so I can see. And with that being said, past experiences, trauma, current experiences that's going on have, in a way, like my glasses, have made them dirty. Yes. So the clarity is what's needed for me and anyone, but speaking for myself, in order to see where I've been, where I'm at, and where am I going, and how do I want to get there. That's what this process ultimately has helped me to see. Yeah. And also to realize, because I was hard on myself at certain times when, things happen. I'm like, oh no, I didn't do this one yet. And he was like, that's okay. It's okay. You still have time. That's what I'm, you have time. And I'm just like, okay, because this is in school.
How many times have I told you girls this? This is in school. Yes. You are not, I think it was you. You're like, this is not, you are not something to get an A on, right?
You told me that. You told me that.
Was that you?
Just a few times.
Sometimes I forget. Okay.
No, I was one of them, and my sister in crime, if I can say it like that. Both of us, we were so similar. I was like, did I get this right?
100%. I was like, you guys, this is not a class to get an A in. You are working your process. And I think what is important for people to understand about us as Hue and Style women is that if you look at it from the outside, we're talking about clothes and color. But when you really look at it, we're talking about being able to hear yourself, to understand what's right for you. Yes, in your clothing, but it translates to your life.
Yes.
When you have certainty in yourself, you have certainty for the rest of your life. And the beauty is that we get to dress in our certainty every day. So every step we take is certain. That's freedom by itself. Right. And like I tell all the ladies, I've been mentoring women for 3 years now. Okay. And that no woman changes permanently without women changing in the same way around her. And you mentioned your sister, Deepa. We have our sisterhood. How valuable was that sisterhood in you making changes, Salimah?
The sisterhood has proved valuable in so many different ways. I'm a people person. I don't know if you can tell. I'm totally a people person. And with that being said, though we're miles apart, to know that I'm not alone, to know that there are others taking this journey with me, whether it be in a choice, is this a good choice for this color or whatever it may be, because I see like different ones post certain things, or a poem that I had posted because that's where I was at that time of the process. And and when they share what they're going through, good and bad, or positive, negative, whatever it may be, whatever that part of the journey is, whether, that helps me to say, oh, wow, I never looked at it that way. So it's there's strength in numbers, like coals in a fire, not by myself.
Oh,
I'm together with we're all coals in this
like
barbecue
in
pit.
The fire, and you stoke it, and it keeps it lit.
Yes. And that's what I feel being a part of this group in so many different ways. Whether
Oh,
it's amazing. And when at times I've gone back to the previous post before I joined, and I'm like, oh, this is what they look like before. Look at them now. Wow.
right.
I mean, it's amazing, really, because
Yes.
to be able to see the changes, and it's not just about the clothes. I see the glow. I see the eyes shining. It's just like, wow. And just their help for other members that are maybe in a difficult spot or
Yeah.
celebrating whatever the win is.
Yes. The glow. It's a thing.
Yeah,
The
truly.
eyes change. I think I share that whenever I share your guys' pictures, I, I look at the eyes because I mean they're the windows of the soul, that whole thing, whatever. But they really do tell the truth of what's going on behind. And people can have a smile on their face and be sad in the eyes. And it is our, I mean, the sisterhood of women who are on purpose doing their lives in a way that serves themselves in their happiness, serves others in their communities and changes lives around the world. You guys change lives. It's amazing. You are a true Hue and Style woman, fearless, magnetic, leader, ready to serve, walking commercial for her life. And I know that there are women sitting out there that I know have trouble giving themselves value and permission to invest in personal growth journeys, to honor themselves enough to be visible for their lives. What advice would you give her if she's sitting there right now and thinking, you know what, that's really nice for you, Salimah? Like, cool. Can I just get color? Because that would be good. What advice would you give her about what it means to actually show up for her life?
The advice I would give is you are worthy. You are worthy, whether it's now or in the near future. This is a journey that you need to take. Not everyone's ready at a certain point. I mean, I 2 years was doing like the little mini challenges. Yes, swirling. And at the time when I was tired of being tired,
Ah,
that's when it was like, okay. And then it was like, okay, well, then it came to, how am I going to do this? My mind was like, okay, wait, how am I going to, wait, how can I do? So with that being said, it can also be quite costly not to put yourself first on different levels. Health wise, because stress in terms of, the other conditions that can come up, and just missed opportunities as well.
mm,
So it can be costly not to do this. And everyone has to do it, of course, in their own time.
yes.
And what I remember early on, because I love to share, as you mentioned, and I'm sharing, oh, wow, she's so wonderful. This is the person. And some of the comments I may have got were not so positive. Even some may have said, well, I don't see a drastic transformation, whatever they expected in their head.
Mm,
And that didn't feel quite well, good. And I was like, you know what, this particular, you may not be for everyone. Nonetheless, everyone needs to find a process for them so that they can find their confidence internally. Because we are worthy. Strong individuals make strong communities at the end of the day.
Oh, there's another one. I'm gonna have to write it down. Oh, yeah. Salimah, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. And just as you have your purpose statement and who you serve, you're right. Not everybody is for everybody.
Yes, I've learned. I've learned that, because at times I'm like, why can't they just see it? Why can't they see it? And then you told me early on, you was like, it's okay. You don't have
Yeah.
to sell me to anyone. And I was just like, oh. I was like, okay. You actually said that, because I was just telling people, when I have
Yes.
something good or I know something,
Yes.
I love to share it, whether it's a
Yeah.
sale, whether it's whatever it may be. Definitely the
Yes.
sales.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, we're actually worthy to do this, because if we don't, who's going to do it for us? No
Right.
one can eat for us. No one can breathe for us.
Yes. And I think
So
what you said was really important in that you find I always say this about mentorship is that find the person who has the exact outcome that you desire and then do whatever it takes to work with them. Because if you can recognize that they have the exact outcome and that they reverberate with your value, even before you dive in and the whole thing, but if they're reverberating and they have the exact outcome, then you know that you're going to be walked down a path that makes sense for your journey,
yeah,
right? And that personal relationship is the thing that's going to actually move you, right? So a huge deal. Okay. And I think what's great about doing this chit chat now, Salimah, is that I think what's happening as the world starts to transition into newness, or things are opening, things are, people are maybe putting lives back sort of to something in the evolved normal. You see how I'm saying that?
Because we really don't know. Something could change like that.
I call it the evolved normal, but people are starting to find their evolved normal. We still have to go on, and and we still have purpose to live, right? Yes. One last piece of advice for anyone listening. What would you share with them about the urgency of finding what it is they're here to do and then being intentional about it?
One piece of advice about the urgency. Time is passing, with or without us. Time will not stand still for anyone. And especially if we have children. I have a son, he's a teenager. And I want to be there for him as he transitions in middle school and into high school or whatever it is, and help him find what he really wants to do.
Yeah.
And to use little bits and pieces from this journey or continuing journey to help him to see, okay, in terms of how we process information, how we think, that it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, the feeling. That's actually a big thing, especially for males, because at times society may say whatever they may say, which may not always be the most positive. And so I would say there's no time like the present.
Yeah.
Because time is passing by, with or without us.
Well, they say that children are the loudest timekeepers. They're loud.
Yeah.
You're laughing because it's true, right? My parenting advice is, I don't know where I got it or saw it, but it's the more is caught than taught, and that they are watching us. They're watching their mothers, and that you talked about the oxygen mask. It's like, if he can at least see you put it on first, that's a lesson that would be worth catching, at least. Because, we talk our faces off and they pretend like they're not listening, and maybe they aren't and maybe they are. But, I hear it a lot from women, especially too in the sisterhood, the intentional parenting of wanting to embody and be an example to their kids. Well, that means you doing the thing and then them watching it. Right?
Yeah. I just think of the lessons my mom taught me growing up. The love of knowledge and reading. Going to the library before I even had my own card, that I was excited when I'm like, oh, I can get my own in 5th grade, kindergarten, not 5th grade, 5 years old. I mean, just that love of that and just other things that she taught me. And she also told me to just wait till you have a child of your own. And
there's that too,
because that's the truth. Nonetheless, with that being said, I find that that's important. There's no time like the present, especially when we have families that we're caring for. And as we may transition, and maybe depending on age, maybe even caring for parents, that maybe as they age and you still have children that you're caring for, I forget the generation they call it, even more so, we have to put the oxygen mask on as things come up with health and other things. So there's no time like the present. Find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And so whether it's with you or someone else, and have someone that can help you become laser focused, not just what this one says, that one says, that one says, this one says, because sometimes they just conflict. And it's just like, well, what do I do first?
Yes, 100%. It's like follow one course of action. And I was just saying this, like follow one course of action until it's no longer getting you results, then change. Right? That's how success is created. Salimah! I am so excited that you came to share. I love doing these. For anyone who's still listening, thank you for being here. I love doing these because whoever's listening to this right now, you are not by yourself. There are women just like you, and there's more for you. There's more for you. This life has so much to offer. Your success can be defined personally, And your confidence can support that idea of success. Like Salimah says, there ain't no time to wait. My dad used to say, there ain't no time to waste, right? and Salimah says, time's a ticking. There's no time that we're waiting for to move forward and to enjoy a life that you've created on purpose. So if Salimah's story has tugged at your heartstrings, I will make sure I leave a link for you. I will make sure you can find me at hueandstyle.com. There's information there's even the workshops that she swirled around. A few free workshops that you can swirl around to, because even just that process of discovery starts the process of you finding an opportunity to change. So start, see what happens, see what you dredge up, and imagine what's possible. That's the beauty of life, is knowing that there's always something beautifully possible for you. Anytime is a good time for you to activate that potential in you and to show up confident. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening. I know you can tell that I believe that a strategic image and a confidence mindset is something everyone who wants to make an impact needs. A shift in confidence can change your life. Using my degree in marketing strategy, expertise in personal branding, and my creative self-development process, I've helped thousands shift their confidence, starting with how they see themselves in the mirror, in my signature Hue and Style mentorship program. You can explore my book, Show Up Confident, explore how I work with my clients, and see their amazing results and breakthroughs too. It's all at hueandstyle.com. Join the community and start to see how making the image, mindset, success connection can create a breakthrough in your life too. I can't wait to see you there. Bye for now.